Welcome to Mischief Wargaming. I'm John and this is Blood Bowl. The new season of the Mischief Cup begins today. 5 brand new teams compete with last year's winners to crown themselves the Mischief Cup champion of 2025. Our first game pits the Dudonais Striders against the Warpstoners Anonymous, as both teams look to make an impact in their debuts. The Striders are going to be a risky team with a full complement of vampires, minimal thralls and no rerolls. The team lives or dies by random chance, and that should make for some fun games. On the other hand, their opponents are more reliable. Despite a lack of skills, the team has some rerolls, which gives them an edge over their bloodsucking opponents. The weather is nice and the fans are filing in as Striders win the coin toss, choosing to kick the ball first. With the two teams set up, the ball is kicked. A quick snap lets some of the Warpstoners move before the ball comes to rest. And the game begins. The Renegades waste no time as Valak Dawnfall runs in and picks up the ball. The majority of the Warpstoners then move up. Gog rolls for Bonehead, passing the roll, and blocking Theron Sarazen. Yoga overpowers the vampire, but his armour holds. Sligo the Troll then passes his really stupid roll, before blocking Raphael Law. Like the other big guy, Sligo knocks the vampire blitzer down, but his armour protects him. Marble Moor blitzes Jonas de Bray. Despite the assists, the vampire is only pushed back. Before getting up, Theron makes a Bloodlust roll, passing and being able to stand without getting a bit peckish. Unfortunately, Raphael Law isn't as restrained, meaning he stands up, but then has to bite Burton. An injury roll is made, which leaves the thrall stunned. Thankfully for the Striders, unless the thrall has the ball, no turnover happens. Jonas de Bray is able to throw a block at Marble Moor, knocking them down. Their armour breaks, and they are left stunned. Enoch Perquin then fails his Bloodlust roll, needing to feed on Simone, stunning him. The remaining thralls get into position. Nyx Lasher passes her Bloodlust roll before blitzing Bumgog. The Orc is knocked down, but his armour holds. Adine God then bites the nearby Julian, causing a casualty. Thralls that are bitten and removed as a casualty are only ever badly hurt, so no lasting injuries, but things aren't going well for the Striders already. To make things worse, Armand the Feral fails in his block against Sligo, causing a turnover. The Warpstoners begin their turn by moving their players up. Sligo blocks Raphael, but can only push the Blitzer back. Gog blocks Pharaon, knocking the thrower to the dirt. The Ogre breaks through his armour and uses his mighty blow to knock out the vampire. Blade Fingers blocks Adine, but can only push her back. Noisy Phil then ends the turn by blocking Nyx, causing her to stumble. Her armour holds out though. Enoch Perquin blitzes Dawnfall. The attack causes the Dark Elf to stumble. Stunning him and freeing up the ball. Adine God then begins a series of dodges. Each passing with her vampiric agility. Before she runs in and picks up the ball, stealing possession for the Striders. Armand manages to stand without needing to feed. While Nyx gets up and dodges. Jonas Debray then blocks kickback, but both dice results lead to both players being knocked down. Nobody is hurt, but a turnover occurs. Bitter Aya blitzes Adine, but can only push her back. The Warpstoners need to take the ball from her, so they use a reroll. The vampire is knocked down. And the ball bounces off the pitch. The crowd throw it back in, closer to the Renegade end zone than before. Noisy Phil blocks Nyx, but with a double skulls, the Warpstoner is knocked down, causing a turnover. The Striders then see an opening as Nyx dodges away from the Renegades. She picks up the ball and scores a touchdown. The Dieudonné Striders lead the game 1-0. Once the teams are set up again, the Striders kick the ball. The kick-off result is cheering fans. The Warpstoners fans are louder, letting the team make a prayer to Nuffle. The prayer is bad habits, letting the Renegades choose 2 Striders, in this case Nyx and Nadine, to gain the loner trait. The ball comes to rest, and Valak Dawnfall rushes in to pick it up. The majority of the team move up into aggressive positions. While Gog blocks Enoch Perquin. Despite the strength advantage, the Ogre only pushes the Vampire Thrower back. Unfortunately, Sligo then fails his really stupid roll, so loses his tackle zone. Amon the Feral starts off by blocking Marblemore. The attack pushes the Adept back, and the Vargeist follows up with a second block thanks to his Frenzy skill. The second attack knocks Marblemore down, but their armour protects them. Raphael Law blitzes Gog, but can only push the Ogre back. Enoch blocks Knots, causing the Renegade to stumble. Their armour keeps them safe. Adine fails her Bloodlust roll, biting Burton. The Thrall is badly hurt and will miss the rest of the game. Nyx, however, manages to restrain herself and dodges. Jonas Debray blocks Sligo, but an attacker down result spells disaster. Worse, the Vampire's armour breaks and is removed as a casualty. Jonas is badly hurt, missing the rest of the game and causing a turnover. After the Warpstoners move up, Noisy Phil blocks Adine. The attack knocks the Vampire Runner down, but her armour holds. Sligo then blocks the other runner, but can only push her back. Gog attacks Raphael, but he can only push the Blitzer back. Lastly, Bitter Ire blocks Shirad. The Thrall is only shoved back, however. Nyx dodges away before blitzing Valak Dawnfall. The attack causes them both to fall. The Dark Elf is left stunned, and drops the ball, but a turnover occurs. Mashhead Avril then picks up the ball and moves up, with Bumgog and Noisy Phil supporting. The troll then attacks the massive Vargeist, but even with the assist can only push Armand back. Gog then blocks Simone, knocking him down. Uses his Mighty Blow skill to crack the Thrall's armour, knocking him out. Lastly, Bladefingers commits a foul against the downed Edingord. The vampire is left stunned. Nyx gets back to her feet and moves in. Armand then fails his Bloodlust roll, needing to feed. As there's no nearby thralls, he's going to have to feed on one of the crowd. Before he goes for a drink, he attacks the Renegade troll. Sligo stumbles, but his armour holds. With that, the Vargeist nips off for a bite, leaving the pitch and causing a turnover. Once Sligo uses his 2 brain cells to remember to stand up, the Warpstoners all move up towards the end zone. The Ogre, however, forgets what he was supposed to do and loses his tackle zone. Bitter Arya blocks Gerard, stunning the Thrall. In a sad repeat of the last turn, Enoch Perkwin fails his Bloodlust roll. He continues his block against Knots, knocking the Warpstoner down, but like Armand, leaves the pitch for a bite, causing another turnover. This lets Mashhead Avril score the equaliser at the end of the half. The team set up with the Renegades hanging back to minimise the incoming hits from the undead. The ball is kicked and a rather officious ref causes Marble Moore to become stunned. The ball lands and is utterly ignored as Armand goes to block Bladefingers. The attack only pushes them back, so he follows up with Frenzy. However, both results cause both players to go down. Neither are harmed, but it brings the first half to an end. The score is tied 1 apiece. The teams are set up again, and the Striders are set to receive. However, the coaches are playing tricks, calling a timeout. This causes the game to skip forward a turn, giving both teams less time to score the decisive win. The ball lands and Farron's Harazin picks it up. The remaining thralls move into position to provide their blood to the vampires. But first, a Dean Gord skips through the opposition. Using her vampiric agility to dart through the defensive line. Enoch Perquin, however, gets a bit peckish and bites the nearby Gerard. The injury causes a casualty, leaving the team with just one thrall left on the pitch. To make things worse, Amon the Feral lives up to his moniker and fails his own Bloodlust roll. He blocks Bumgog, knocking the Orc down. His armour holds, and the Vargeist leaves the pitch, ending Dudenaire's turn. The Warpstoners take advantage of the breakdown of the vampire offensive as the players move in. The Ogre blocks Raphael, knocking the Blitzer down. And stunning him. The rest of the team get into position. Before Kickback blitzes Farron. The thrower is knocked down. His armour holds, but the ball is freed up. Lastly, Sligo blocks Enoch. The Warpstoners have to use a reroll. And the Vampires push back. The Striders look to regain some control as Farron blitzes Rarid Lars. The Renegades only push back. Nyx begins her turn by dodging, picking up the ball, dodging again, right under the Warpstoners' noses. She runs to the other side of the pitch and makes a long pass to a Dean Gord. The other runner catches the ball and dodges away before scoring a touchdown. The lesson being, don't underestimate vampires. The teams are set up again and the ball is kicked high. Letting Valak Dawnfall move into position to catch it as it lands. The Warpstoners all move up. Knots blitzes Adine, knocking her down. Gog then fails his bonehead roll. And not to be outdone, Sligo fails his really stupid roll. Enoch blitzes Marble Moor, causing them to stumble. Their armour holds, but it lets him put pressure on the Dark Elf. The rest of the team move in. Armand then fails his Bloodlust roll. He still attacks Bladefingers, pushing them back. He follows up with a Frenzy, knocking the Renegade down, and then he's removed as he goes to feed again from the crowd. With that turn of luck, the Warpstoners get back to their feet, before the Troll continues to fail his really stupid rolls. The Ogre, however, comes to his senses and blocks the Vampire Thrower. Theron stumbles, but his armour holds. Noisy Phil blocks Enoch. Despite the assists, they still need to use a reroll. The Blitzer is only pushed back. This frees up Valek though, who heads towards the end zone. Bitter Arya blocks Adine, causing her to stumble. Theron Sarrazin dodges twice before blitzing the ball carrier. He knocks Dawnfall down. His armor protects him, but the ball is not loose. Nyx dodges before picking up the ball. She runs and makes a short pass to Raphael. Noisy Phil attempts to deflect, but it fails. And the Vampire Blitzer catches the ball. Raphael then dodges and makes a dash towards the end zone. Adine then dodges to try and support him. Knots, Mashhead Avril and Bitter Arya move. Sligo joins them when he finally passes his really stupid roll. And Rabid Lars moves up too. Gog then blocks Enoch. The vampire stumbles. And using his Mighty Blow skill, the Ogre breaks the Blitzer's armour. And Enoch is knocked out. Bumgog moves up, needing to rush. Noisy Field does the same, but needs to use a reroll to avoid tripping. Marble Moor blitzes Raphael. They need to pass a rush check, but ultimately knock the vampire to the floor. His armour holds, but the ball is not free. And the blitzing Renegade catches it. Raphael gets back to his feet and blitzes Marble Moor. Unfortunately, he can only push them back. Adine dodges and moves in. Nyx then does the same. Theron continues to attack Valek, causing the elf to stumble. And after that short turn, the Warpstoners are back at it. Marble Moor dodges away from the vampire and hands off the ball to Knots. Bitter Ire, Blade Fingers and Knots then move up. Sligo blitzes Raphael. The troll charging in and knocking the blitzer down. More Warpstoners move in. The ogre passes his bonehead roll and moves in. Lastly, Mashhead Avril blocks Simone, knocking the fall down. There's so little of the game left, but the Striders need to stop the Warpstoners from scoring, a difficult task with so few players left. Theron dodges before blitzing Knots. But can only push them back. Raphael then fails his Bloodlust roll, getting back to his feet before promptly leaving the pitch, causing a turnover. Bitter Ire blitzes the vampire thrower, pushing him back. Blade Fingers follows up, but likewise can only push him back. Still, it pushes him away from Knots, who is able to head to Valek and hand the ball off to the elf. Dawnfall then runs in and scores a touchdown, pretty much guaranteeing the game will end in a draw. The team's still set up for the final turn. There's always a chance to score some star player points. The kick-off result is brilliant coaching, but with both teams rolling the same, nothing happens. The ball lands and Theron picks it up. And makes a quick pass to Adine. The runner then fails her Bloodlust, but still makes a run for it. She immediately fails her dodge roll, causing the ball to scatter off the pitch. The crowd throw it back in, but it ends the game for the Striders. The Warpstones can't score, but they can cause some casualties. The team moves in before Noisy Phil blitzes the Vargeist. However, a both down result is the best he can do. Knocking the monstrosity out. And the game ends there in a 2-2 draw. After the game, both teams collect a sizable chunk of change. The Striders earned some star player points with 2 touchdowns and 3 completions. Ferron was the rolled for MVP. Unfortunately, all the points were on Ferron and the 2 runners, but none of them earned enough to choose a skill, so no advancements are made. However, with their winnings, the team purchased a much needed extra thrall, Lucas. And here's how the team looks after their debut game. The Warpstoners have a very similar tale. With 2 touchdowns, they earned less star player points. Bladefingers was the rolled for MVP. Like the Striders, no advancements are made, but they use their cash to hire an apothecary. And here's how the Warpstoners look after their first game. And here's the league table. It's almost pointless to include this early, as only 2 teams have had a game and both are tied in points. But here it is anyway. And that was the opening game of this season of the Mischief Cup. The Vampires were just as unpredictable as I had hoped, with some truly ridiculous plays relying on their superior speed, strength and agility, but also frequently stopped in their tracks by the Vampires' own Bloodlust. The team suffered a bunch of casualties, but aside from one failed block, they were all self-inflicted bites against the thralls. The lack of rerolls really hurts the team, but I felt they needed more thralls, to keep the team going. On the other hand, the Warpstoners played a lot more sensibly and predictably. Having 2 big guys helped deal with the Vampires' strength advantage, and the basic linemen are still decently average players. An apothecary will help the team out in the long run as they face more dangerous teams in the future. And it's good to be back playing Blood Bowl. The new teams are all looking like fun to play, and if this game is anything to go by, there should be some close and tense games to come. The next game sees the return of the Hexaratl Sunwarriors as they face the Nihon team, the Sumeru Thunderers. With the Lizard Men beginning with a higher team value, the Thunderers have brought in the first of probably many star players of the season. But that's for next month. For now, if there's any game that you'd like to see me try out, let me know in the comments below. I remember to do all the things that YouTube likes. Until next time, thank you very much for watching. Take care.